ダンに一つの結末を報告するため、俺は事務所に立ち寄った。ダンは穏やかで優しい表情を浮かべて出迎えてくれた。その表情がどこかやり場のない悔しさを隠しているようにも見えて、
But at the same time, I sensed he was holding back an ocean of frustration without any outlet, and I felt for him.
その後、ダンは俺をねぎらうために自宅へと招待してくれた。食べ尽くせそうにないほどのピザが出迎えてくれる。不器用なダンなりの励ましだったのだろう。ピザを頬張りながら俺たちはたくさんの話をした。ダンの中にも確かにダンと話をしているとじいちゃんがすぐそばにいるような、何度もそんな気がして少し嬉しかった。やがて俺は気絶するように深い眠りに落ち、そのまま朝を迎えた。
Chapter 3 The Cursed Town.
Dan, いないのか?
You there? Oh, this break. Hey, what time is it?
Dan!
What?
ごめん。
Sorry?
なぜ謝るの?
Are you apologizing? I just slipped out.
つい勢いで。
そう。
Huh. Hello? Dan's bookcase is quite large. You must really enjoy reading. The books on the shelves are from all different genres too. Dan's bed. I must have fallen asleep in Dan's bed at some point without realizing it. The thing had proved surprisingly comfy. Having pizza. It's the pizza Dan treated me to last night. We hadn't been able to finish it, and the leftovers are still lying there untouched. I want some pizza. I was planning to buy some, but can't now. Alright, there's your... excuse me, but... so you... I just came to return a book Dan lent me. Are you a student? Are you a student? Yes, I'm studying abroad from Japan. You're Japanese. Yes, I am. I'm guessing you are too. Whoa, how did you know? Your accent and the way you look. From the way you speak English, I figured you were either from Japan or Italia. And you certainly don't look like you're from Italia. Makes sense, I guess. The way she says Italia instead of Italy is driving me nuts. What book did you borrow? Any other questions? So what was this book you borrowed? It was about the cultures of various Native American tribes. Do you know Kokopelli? Yes. He was a fertility deity worshipped long ago by the Hopi people. It is a motif often found in amulets drawn as an insect-like figure blowing a flute. A long time ago, my pen pal sent me a Kokopelli charm as a gift. Huh. So that's what it is. You got a pen pal? Yes, we started when I was in elementary school as part of our sister city exchange. I believe they're a college student here in the US now. You don't write as much as we used to, but we still exchange 2 or 3 letters a year. That's not much at all. There's no way your pen pal could be Ben, could it? Could it? Do you always come in like that?
They were just coming whenever you like. Oh yes, it's become a habit. It was odd for me too at first. Dan gave me a key to his house so I could come and go when I wanted. I told him it was a bad idea, what with New York being so dangerous and all. But I guess it's just the way he is. Now I come and borrow books all the time. You're really just here to borrow a book? Yes, that's right. What other reason would I have? Oh no, nothing. No, never mind. I apologize if I spoiled the mood, sorry. Why are you apologizing? Oh, I just slipped out. By the way, you sure have a lot of questions for me considering that we just met. So who exactly are you? Are you a policeman or something? No, nothing like that. I'm Saburo Jinguji. I'm a student too. So what business does a mere student have interrogating people like that? A mere student? Hey, now. Wow, this girl's a real pain in the ass. What's with that face? You think I'm a pain, don't you? How rude. I do not. Anyway, what about Dan? Where is he? You called? Finally. This weird girl just barged in here. Weird girl? Oh, it's Yoko. How rude. Saburo, was it? You have been unpleasant to me this whole time. You've got no right to call me weird when we just met. The way I see it, you're the weird one for being so rude to strangers. Oof. Dan, I put that book I borrowed back where it belongs. Goodbye. Jeez. What was that all about, man? The way she talked drove me nuts. Dan, please tell me you're not into her. You're not right. Don't be an idiot. She's only 17. What? I thought she was way older. Right? She doesn't look that young. She's an exchange student from Japan, Yoko Misano. You two should get along. You're countrymen. No way, leave me out of it. I do not get along with that type. So even someone like you has types you can't handle. I'm actually kind of relieved. What's that supposed to mean? Okay, settle down. No need to get mad. Anyway, Saburo, what are you going to do now? You going back to Japan? No. I still have unfinished business here. Can I go down? Thank you. That whole cursed town business? Yeah. I learned a lot from this place. Just how much my grandfather loved it and how much it loved him. And that's exactly why we need to know what happened at the end. And his final wishes for us. I want everyone here to remember him forever as the happy, shining man that he was. I'm not done here. You're so much alike, you and Kyosuke. The truth, it doesn't always bring justice. He always said, that's why you have to imagine the meaning truth will bring and try to move closer to that. I think he's right. This town is searching for some sort of hope past all this sadness. Trust my grandfather. Somewhere in the truth, we'll find that hope that he left for us. And I'm going to find it. You will, Saburo? I believe in you. Thank you, Dan. There's one thing I want you to promise me, though. Huh? That word Logan used. You mean DAEDALUS? Yeah, that. It could be a person's name or an organization or a place or something else entirely. We don't know anything about it. And then there's what happened to Kyosuke. We have no idea just how dangerous DAEDALUS is, so until we do, be very careful with that word. Got it, I promise. The cursed town of silver snow and the mysterious name DAEDALUS. I still don't know enough to say these are clues that tell us how Grandpa spent his final days. Nothing is certain. Yet I can sense a drop of water seeping into the soil to nourish the orchid of my mind. Just like Grandpa taught me. However, faint. I'm sorry, everyone. Don't apologize like that. We said we'd help, didn't we? That's right. We're always here for you, Saburo. Aren't you guys busy, though, apart from Ben, that is? Hey! How about you, Leo? Can you miss some school? Oh, wait, that's right. You okay, Leo? Yeah, it's fine. I've been working hard. 1 or 2 days isn't going to set me back any. Mr. Confidence over here. Father's the mayor, son's going to be a public prosecutor. Leo's family is something else. Leo's been saying he's going to be a prosecutor since we were kids. It's been that long? But why a prosecutor? So I can put away the bad guys like some kind of hero? Why else? What? That's not what I imagined you'd say. Really? I'm totally serious. When did you grow a sense of humor, Leo? I'm growing up, yeah. More than Ben, anyway. Hey! Okay, enough joking around. Seriously, don't worry about it, Saburo. Yeah, no need to feel bad. We're always here for you. Hey, I just said that! I filled everyone in on the details the night before. They all told me their ideas. And of course, Leo wouldn't just ignore what I had to say, nor would he push his way in. Kept the perfect distance, and I was extremely grateful for that. After everyone got a good grasp on the situation, Leo suggested we drive out to Silver Snow. We headed east into the cold wintry wind. Sure you just want us to just leave you here, Saburo? If you need help, just ask, okay? Right here's fine, guys, thanks. You're going to stick around a while, right? Yeah, that's the plan. If you get into any trouble, just let me or Leo know, alright? Thanks, Ben. I'll do that. Hey, why not me? Oh, did I not? Listen, guys. Thanks for everything. And thank you, too. It's unfortunate we can't go with you. As they left, I was struck by how unhappy Leo looked. He was probably worried about me being so reckless. I felt grateful, but also a bit guilty. I wondered about my own expression as I saw them off. It was almost evening. Stop looking into that town. That case was 20 years ago. Enough is enough. The cursed town, Silver Snow. It's too dangerous. He needs to stay away from that cursed town. Logan had said so much, trying to get me to stop Grandpa. What could have happened here 20 years ago? Just what danger is hiding in Silver Snow? And that word, the one that truly frightened Logan, Daedalus. We have no idea just how dangerous Daedalus is. I still have no idea what happened. And now, here I am, blindly trying to question people when I don't even know what questions I should be asking. If there had been some kind of incident, the local newspapers would have covered it. Which means I should start at the library. I can search the library newspaper archives for incidents from 20 years ago. The questions will come later. Search phase. Daedalus identity evidence of something. Daedalus. Library, Silver Snow. I arrived in front of the library. Seems to be open today. I'll head inside. I walked up to the circulation desk inside the library. I should start by asking to see what I can learn. The various items of stationery are arranged pretty neatly on the desk. Compared to Grandpa's room, the difference is night and day. This typewriter looks relatively new. The whole thing is polished to a reflective sheen. I should start by asking to see what I can learn. I bet that's the librarian. She might know something. Excuse me, I'm looking for some information. Do you think you could help me? Certainly. What sort of information are you looking for? My name is Saburo Jinguji. I'm a student. And I'm curious about any major incidents or large-scale accidents that may have taken place in this town. Major incidents or accidents? I'm afraid you have to be a little more specific. Was there a particular time frame you had in mind that might help narrow things down? I'm trying to learn more about something that happened here 20 years ago. Any information at all would help, so if you know anything you might be willing to share, please tell me. Let's see, 20 years ago you said. I would have only been a child at the time, so I'm afraid I can't think of anything that might help you. Except... Yes? Oh, I'm sure it's nothing. I just remembered hearing about something at the start of summer vacation back then. Apparently, there was a terrible death at a campsite. My parents and teachers were all talking about it, so I guess it stuck with me. A murder at a campsite, huh? But if I'm trying to find out about something that may have happened in town, would you be able to give me any newspaper files for sometime around the month of July 20 years ago? We have issues of the Silver Snow Times on file going back 100 years. And you're looking specifically for issues from 20 years ago? Yes, that's right. I'll get you everything we have from April 1st to July 31st, exactly 20 years ago. Can you use one of our readers in the next room to look through this roll of microfilm? Are you familiar with how to use a reader? Yeah, I've used microfilm readers before. I'm sure I'll be fine. Thank you. What was your name? It's Mary. Thank you, Mary. Mary Clark. Headed further back into the library to a room with a projector. This room is equipped with a microphone projector. I guess I'll better start by taking a quick look through all these. This typewriter looks almost ancient. The entire exterior has an almost dingy appearance. Two dead incidents of the Mafia dispute on San Miguel Street. Both victims on San Miguel Street appeared to have died of blood loss after their carotid arteries were severed by a sharp blade. I think the blade of the murder weapon was determined to be approximately that of a hatchet. Due to the weapon's sharpness, the police conclude that the use of an actual hatchet was unlikely. The weapon's search continues. Time of death for both was around 2 a.m. since they died at approximately the same time. Multiple killers may have been involved. The day before the bodies were found, both men were seen getting into an altercation with an Asian man. However, this individual's potential involvement in this case has not yet been established. Held as globalization progress, the local Asian population has increased this year, but many have public safety concerns. The job market has also been affected with several local shops reporting confrontations as a result of cultural differences. Well then, foreign exchange students. The search for foreign exchange students is on as Silver Snow High begins its new semester. Pumpkin Festival. Annual Pumpkin Festival is coming up. Contact City Hall with your entry. That's right. You want to make sure. Oh, that was interesting. Another one? 5 members of the Italian Mafia found dead in another gang dispute. It's believed that the same person from last month's incident was responsible. All 5 men were killed with a large blade. This brings the total number of deaths involving this particular MO to 22. Every time the arteries were cut precisely, leading to blood. Soaked crime scenes. Does the killer have a medical background? To the copious amounts of blood, police have begun referring to these locations as dead or blood loss crime scenes. Police named killer DAEDALUS after ghastly dead or blood loss crime scenes. So DAEDALUS is lost for the killer. Bougainvillea flowers in full bloom. What about the weather? Low precipitation this year as the forecast for summer camping remains favorable. Use extra caution with fire. Always. So 2 mafia disputes. 1 month after the other. And they happen in July. Serial murder suspect arrested. Suspect arrested in serial murder case. Elgard, suspected killer of the Japanese gang leader Saejima, has been arrested. He is currently under investigation in connection with 11 other murders. Dang. Elgard confesses to involvement in 12 murders, including Yakuza leader Saejima. The trial is expected to take place on the 5th. Low precipitation this year as the forecast for summer camping remains favorable. Use extra caution with fire. Fire! Elgard's transferred to prison. Suspect Elgard taken to prison on the 18th. Pictured above, Detective Mark supervising Elgard's transfer to prison. Apparently, police began referring to the killer implicated in the deaths of several mafia members beginning that June as DAEDALUS. And the mafia deaths continued. The killer's murder weapon was eventually revealed during the investigations of the crime scenes. However, there was no evidence of a link between the weapon and the killer. Police didn't even have a profile for DAEDALUS.
Then, right at the start of July, things suddenly picked up. A man named Elgar was arrested as part of a series of killings. It was a stunning development involving the discovery of the killer who put quite a lot of men in the ground. Taking the article at face value, it seems likely this Elgar was DAEDALUS. Well, something about that bothers me. I'm not sure why, but I don't like it. Still, I managed to get a pretty good idea of what's going on here 20 years ago. I think it's about time I started asking around to see what else I can learn. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Guess that does it for now. Time to head somewhere else. Oh, come on, really? Okay, I think this is a good place to ask around. Cocky guy. By the looks of him, this guy is an upstanding citizen. He has the look of someone with at least one foot in the criminal underworld. Hey guys, you know anything about a bunch of serial killings around here? It happened about 20 years ago. You must mean that stuff with Elgar the cleaner. We was just kids, so we don't know too much. When we caught that guy, murders went way down, I hear. We don't know nothing about any of that. Asking's a waste of time. Fair enough. So who should I talk to then? What? How the hell should I know? Why don't you ask some of these old farts over there? Got it. Thanks. So I thought I was talking about the guy in the back at the priest. This man is dressed like some kind of clergyman. He must be the local priest. He looks to be about the right age, so he might know something about what happened 20 years ago. Excuse me, could I ask you something? Certainly. How can I help you, young man? Would you know anything about a bunch of murders that happened in this town about 20 years ago? Ah, I see. You must look so grim because you're investigating such a terrible incident. I look grim. You're obviously deeply exhausted. Go and get a good night's rest tonight, then come to the church tomorrow. I'm in a hurry here. Please tell me what you know. I suppose you have some kind of pressing need. Haste makes waste, you know. In due course, it may be of some help to you. Do take care, as Proverbs 4:26 says. Ponder the path of your feet, then all your ways will be sure. Am I tired? You know, I guess I am. I'll keep looking tomorrow. Do that, young man, as it says in Numbers 11:18. Consecrate yourselves for tomorrow, and you shall eat meat. I'll get my real investigation going tomorrow. For now, I'd better find some place to stay. Town. Let's get a quick look around the main street of town. Somehow, in spite of all the people here, everything seems hollow and empty, as if shrouded in gloom. Then again, I know people say this town is cursed. Could this simply be the result of my own preconceptions? Actually, now that I think of it, I remember there being a motel on the edge of town. Maybe they still have rooms? I'll have to go there later. Motel, motel, motel. Yeah. This game is starting to make me tired too. arrived at the motel. Made my way over to the reception desk. Hi, I'm looking for a room for one. Do you have any vacancies? Fortunately, they did. Is that my room? I better get to my room. Oh, geez.
So I
found myself here in this rented room in an unfamiliar town as the night dragged on. The next morning, suddenly I heard a noise from outside the door. Huh? I looked over just in time to see something small and white get slipped into my room underneath the door. Immediately I jumped out of bed and raced over to see who it was. By the time I was able to open the door and look around, there was nobody in sight. It's the motel phone. I don't need to make any calls right now. I swear I heard something. Was someone out there? The white object that now lay on my floor appeared to be an envelope. Is this safe? Is there a bomb inside? No, it looks too thin for that, and I don't hear anything suspicious even after leaning close. Maybe there are razor blades inside? No, that old Japanese trick probably isn't well known here in the States. Could be a poison or some sort of chemical? There aren't any unusual odors, and if it were an odorless substance, it probably would have degraded completely by now. In any case, standing here silently staring at this envelope isn't going to solve anything. Despite the risk, I reach out, pick up the envelope, and tear it open. Inside is a single folded up piece of paper. Upon unfolding, I found a threatening message waiting for me. To the fool who seeks knowledge of Elgard, see not, ask not, learn not of this town. Damn. To break the seals and that which is forbidden, to meddle in that which is cursed, is to invite the same fate. Seems to be some sort of warning directed at me. Who could have written this? That is an excellent question. Should I stop my investigation, crumple up the letter? But like hell, I'm backing down now. If I'm getting threats, though, that means my investigation yesterday wasn't as pointless as I thought. Yes, things were just starting to get interesting. I could feel a grin spreading across my face, and I had to give myself a quick slap on the cheeks to maintain my composure. Dan warned me about this, that I'd need to be careful in my investigations. For now, though, I took heart and felt a renewed determination to see this through. A bar? It wasn't there yesterday, so must have gone out. Alright, outside the bar. Okay, it seems like a good spot to start asking around. This older woman is done up to look pretty gaudy. I wonder what she does for a living.
don't know if she'll know anything about what happened, but I might as well ask. Yes, do you mind if I ask you some questions? I was wondering if you were familiar with the series of murders committed to her about 20 years ago by a man named Elgart? Elgart? That sounds familiar. Oh, that's right, the serial killer from 20 years ago. All those gangsters or mafiosos or whatever got killed? I seem to recall that number of murders went down quite a lot after they caught him. Interesting. Very sure. Noisy bar entrance. I can hear some sort of commotion coming from over there. From the sounds of it, someone's in the middle of a fight. That's when I heard a loud yell from inside the bar. I guess I'm not going in. What the heck is born of this? And a man keeps stumbling out the entrance. Dressed in a pair of denim work overalls, it looked as if he might be some sort of painter or electrician. He was also very drunk. Following in the first man's heels, another man came hurrying out of the bar. He appeared to be trying to stop the drunk man. Worker, drunk man. Do you mind if I ask you something? Excuse me, do you mind if I ask you some questions? Are you familiar with the series of murders that took place here about 20 years ago? 20 years ago? 20 years ago. Oh! DAEDALUS! Kill me! Come on, just do it! God damn it, there's no getting through to this guy once he's drunk. Taking off so long. Did he say DAEDALUS? That's one of the things I found in Grandpa's notes. Hey, you said DAEDALUS just now, right? Ooh, what is DAEDALUS? Huh? Is it you? Are you the one going around town asking about all this stuff? Yeah, that's right. That a problem? Okay, that's enough, George. Just leave it at that. Now, who's this guy? I think I had too much to drink. Who is this guy? He's well dressed and he's got a good build. Could he be with the police? Gross. And who might you be? I don't think I've seen you around before. I apologize if this guy caused you any trouble. I'm sure he didn't mean it. Now, I think you'd better let me take care of George here. Don't mind him. Anytime he gets drunk, he gets mean and a little out of control. Please don't let anything he might have said get to you. With the police? I am. What's it to you? If you got something to say, speak up. I'd like to ask that man something. Well, you're not going to get anything out of him right now. We really should be going. Leaving no room for argument, the man in the jacket walked off, taking George. Hey, wait, stop! What's the problem? If you've got something to say, speak up.
I don't know how this one would help. I asked about something that happened 20 years ago and the guy just lost it. So that's what happened. Look, don't worry about it. You're better off not knowing anything. I'd appreciate it if you just left this to me. Nobody's going to die. And with that, the man in the jacket walked off to George. Hey, wait, stop! What's the problem? You've got something to say, speak up. Alright, I guess I'm from Japan. I'm from Japan. I came here looking to find something. Well, that's quite a ways to travel. Welcome to Silver Snow. You really think you'll find what you're looking for here? The murders from 20 years ago. Where's Upper Nile? What is he doing? What is that? This one. I'm following the events of a series of murders that took place 20 years ago. I'd appreciate it if you could tell me anything that you might know about them. I see. Well, unfortunately, I don't really know much more about it than what was printed in the papers at the time. If you're interested in what happened back then, why don't you try the library? Anyway, you can leave this to me. We better be going. Forget about it. Please, my grandfather lost his life because of this. Your grandfather was killed? So you're looking for vengeance? When my grandfather died, he was onto something. I think it may have been a sliver of hope. I want to know what it was, that's all. A sliver of hope. Maybe it was something he desperately wanted. Maybe it was something he hoped to pass on. But if there was even the tiniest sliver of hope that my grandfather managed to catch on to, I'd like to pick it up on it too. Otherwise, my grandfather's death would have been nothing more than a tragedy. That's how it'll be remembered, both by the people closest to him and by the people in the city where he worked. Listen, you have my sympathies. It sounds like a terrible set of circumstances. But I'm afraid there's nothing I can do. I can't help you. Try to understand. I don't want to put you in danger. Break one of these days, and I just need to make sure I can still hear myself, because I don't know. I just don't know. Hello? Alright, we're good. I understand. Sorry to unload on you like that. Then the man in the jacket walked off, taking George with him. Actually, now that I think of it, that man in the coat looked familiar. That cop was scared. He was afraid of Daedalus. If nothing else, the news himself is proof his town has something to do with Daedalus. And then there's whatever happened 20 years ago that has George shaking in his boots. All kinds of ways to find out about that string of murders that had George shaking in his boots. There's more than one path open to me now. I'm going to find out. I'm going to learn all about Daedalus no matter what. I go to the library, so might as well check again, just in case. Arrived in front of the library. There's really nothing for me to investigate here right now. Man. I looked over at the entrance to the library, but there's really nothing for me to investigate there right now. I think I'd better head out somewhere else. Okay, that's the main street then.
of the church at? There's nothing for me to do here now. I better get going. What the heck am I supposed to do? So this is taking to the church, but nothing. So I guess I go home then? I return to the motel. And then I better get to my room. I found myself feeling unreasonably tired. As I lay down in the bed, I could feel a wave of drowsiness come over me. The next morning, wait, what's that weird smell? And now that I think of it, did someone come into my room while I was sleeping, or did I imagine that? The smell sort of reminded me of paint. I cautiously opened my eyes. The winged must fall. Red writing on the wall. Dude, do you not like your door? When I did, I saw a message painted across the wall in large letters. It read, "The wings must fall." It looked like it had been written in some sort of red paint, most likely to resemble blood. Whatever the paint, though, it certainly had a strong smell. Could it be some sort of volatile oil-based paint? I wasn't too sure of its chemical composition, but decided to scrape some off to identify it later. Two days of mysterious warnings in a row. Someone must be determined to stop me. Alright, I'd better head somewhere else. Interesting. Like, I don't think it'd be weird if she wasn't there. Just like, I feel like it'd be weird if she didn't show her, you know? I reached the library. I'll head to the circulation desk. I walked up to the circulation desk inside the library. Hi there, Mary. Hello, did you find what you were looking for?
Yeah.
No, I think it'll be a little while yet. But I did run across some interesting information in those articles you prepared for me yesterday. There were a few things that I think could line up pretty well with what I learned from asking around afterwards. At least that was my impression. Well, I'm glad to hear that. In that case, would you like me to get those articles ready for you again? That's just what I was hoping you'd say. Thanks. Do you want them starting from April 1st again? Yes, please. Okay. Further back into the library to the room with the projector. The chamber is equipped with a microfilm projector. Unlike before, I managed to get a small amount of information about what happened by asking around. I'm sure if I take my time to read through this again, I'll be able to pick up on something. Two days with the mafia dispute on San Miguel Street. Both victims on San Miguel Street appeared to have died of blood loss after their carotid arteries were severed by a sharp blade. The length of the blade on the murder weapon was determined to be approximately that of a hatchet. Due to the weapon's sharpness, the police concluded that the use of an actual hatchet was unlikely. The weapons search continues. Time of death for both was around 2 a.m. since they died at approximately the same time. Multiple killers may have been involved. The day before the bodies were found, both men were seen getting into an altercation with an Asian man. However, this individual's potential involvement in this case has not yet been established. Hail this globalization progress, the local Asian population has increased this year, but many have public safety concerns. The job market has also been affected, with several local shops reporting confrontations as a result of cultural differences. Search for foreign exchange students is on the Silver Snow High begins this new semester. The annual Pumpkin Festival is coming up. Contact City Hall with your entry. I'm just reading everything again. Just make sure I don't miss anything. Five members of the Italian Mafia found dead in another gang dispute. It's believed that the same person from last month's incident was responsible. All 5 men were killed with a large blade. This brings the total number of deaths involving this particular MO to 22. Every time the arteries were cut precisely, leading to blood-soaked crime scenes. Does the killer have a medical background? Due to the copious amounts of blood, police have begun referring to these locations as dead of blood loss crime scenes. Police named killer DAEDALUS after ghastly dead of blood loss crime scenes. Low precipitation this year is the forecast for summer camping makes zero bold users precaution with fire. Bougainvillea flowers in full bloom. Nothing else. July. Suspect arrested in serial murder case. Suspect Elgar taken to prison on the 18th. Pictured above, Detective Marks supervising Elgar's transfer to prison. That's it. The other night, outside the bar, this was the guy who took care of things with that drunk. So he was a police officer here in town. Reading through this article, it seems like he was pretty involved in the Elgar case. I need to meet with this man, Marcus, and to ask him about what happened. I didn't even think about that. Well, since I know what to do now. First I thought I had to do something else. Nope. Just had to talk to Marcus. Strong one. Arrived in front of the Silver Snow Police Department. 2 officers were standing at the entrance. I lock eyes with one of them for whatever reason. He begins walking toward me. I glanced over at the nearby patrol car and couldn't help but stare. It just looked so different from the ones in Japan. I find myself reminded yet again that I'm a long way from home. Negligent and serious? Serious.
Something the matter? You're the one who's been asking around about the case from 20 years ago. That's right. How did you know? I heard from the chief. Told me there's an Asian man digging around about the case. You don't see a lot of Asians around these parts, not like New York and those other cities. Is that rare to see an Asian man? Yeah, you don't see many, although we actually had some Japanese folks in town 20 years or so ago. From what I've heard, they didn't exactly behave themselves. Guess they were something like you. Hey, thanks a lot. So, what do you plan to do with me? The chief's ordered us to send you in if you showed up at the station. You guys are well prepared, considering I don't know any police chiefs. Come this way, I'll take you to the chief's office. Sure, got your act together. Well, that makes things easier for me. Taken to the police chief's office. Are you the police chief? Almost over the police chief's desk. I can see some files lying there, but I feel like things might end badly if I try to sneak a peek. Almost over the police chief's desk. I can see some The chair is unexpectedly plain for the office of the chief of police. I feel like this chair would be perfect for a nice nap. Okay. Wait, you're the police chief? I'm Marcus, chief of the Silver Snow Police Department. And yourself? Saburo Jinguji. I'm a student from Japan. Jinguji. I've heard that name before. Maybe you're thinking of Kyosuke Jinguji, the man who was murdered in New York City a month ago? Right, that's him. I think he was a private investigator, Japanese descent. Are you saying you're... I'm Kyosuke Jinguji's grandson. I'm here to find my grandfather's killer. If you're here to avenge your grandfather, what are you doing in Silver Snow? I thought you'd know the answer to that. Isn't that why I'm here in your office? I'm not sure what you're saying. My grandfather left a note with the words Cursed Town and DAEDALUS. While I was busy tracing his last footsteps, I learned that the Cursed Town referred to the town of Silver Snow. And yesterday I heard a drunk in front of a bar shouting the name DAEDALUS. That's clearly evidence of some kind of connection between DAEDALUS and this town. That was just a drunkard rambling. It's nothing you should worry about. Well, you have to know something. I've got a few questions I'd like to ask you. Don't get me involved in this nonsense. Alright, what about Elgart? That's way too much of questions. Let's change the subject then. What about Elgart? Alright, what about Elgart? Didn't you arrest him? No clue. We arrest criminals all the time. I read a newspaper article from 20 years ago. It said that Detective Marcus was in charge of the case involving Elgart. Just what are you so desperate to hide that you'll feign ignorance? I'm not hiding anything. It's just a pain in the ass to discuss. And anything regarding the investigation is classified information. Did you think I could share it with an outsider like you? I've got nothing more to say. You're free to leave. Let me ask you one last thing. Is Elgart DAEDALUS? Nope. Right, I think that's enough. You'd best get going. By the way, I thought this might interest you. What is it? Someone slipped a threatening letter under my door at the motel. I think it was written with a typewriter. Looks like it. Could you use this letter to deduce what kind of typewriter was used? You would have to compare each typewriter to the writing one by one. Not that you'll find many typewriters in a small town like this one. Is there a store in town that sells typewriters? Sorry, but I don't think we have any stores that sell them. If you want to use a typewriter, you'll find a few at the library. Just ask the librarian, then you're free to do what you want. Alright, thanks. Later. Back to the library again. All my trips been going to the library. It's like, that's a very common spot so far. I reached the library. I'll head to the circulation desk. I walked up to the circulation desk inside the library. This typewriter looks relatively new. The whole thing is polished to a reflective sheen. I'm not sure. Hello again. So the library was closed yesterday, huh? Yes, that's right. Did you come here expecting it to be open? I'm so sorry. Don't worry about it. More importantly, I wanted to ask if you have any typewriters here. Well, yes, we do. Would you like to use one? Yes, there's something I'd like to check. Would you mind showing me where I could find one? Well, we actually have two. There's the one we have here, and another in the back room. They're different models, but both should work just fine. Thank you. This is a big help. So yeah, look at this now. The thread-sending letter I received and typed out the text using the typewriter. I compared the text of the letter to the sheet I just finished typing. Both the shapes of the letters and the pattern of the ink were significantly different. The letter was clearly written on a different typewriter. If it was her, oof. Move to the back room. What about this typewriter? This typewriter looks almost ancient. The entire exterior has an almost dingy appearance. I took out the threatening letter I received and typed out the text using the typewriter. Compared the text of the letter to the sheet I just finished typing. The shapes of the letters were almost identical, and both the pattern and color of the ink were a near perfect match. This is undoubtedly the same model of typewriter used to write the letter. Now to confirm this with Mary. Oh, Mary! Sorry to drag you into this, but headed back to the circulation desk. Mary, can I ask you about something? Could you help me out with something? Certainly. What would you like me to do? Take a look at this. Tell me what you think about the letters here compared to what I've just written. Wait, what? What kind of letter is this? Alright, don't worry about what it says. It's just a prank. It's just a prank, huh? Alright, well, let me see. Yes, it does seem that the letters from that letter you have match those made by the old typewriter. But can you tell me for sure if this letter came from that typewriter? Okay, and look, you can see here that even the name of the paper supplier is the same. I buy our paper directly from the manufacturer, so I'm sure of it.
This particular brand isn't sold to consumers for individual use. No one would have been able to buy it. But couldn't someone else have the same model typewriter? Actually, only a few of this particular model were ever sold in the States. It's an extremely rare and valuable typewriter. I doubt there's anyone who owns one of them purely for their own personal use. So it's an antique. Which means there's a very good chance this letter was written on that specific typewriter. Whoever wrote it must have done so sometime yesterday and then thrown it into my room. Except you were closed yesterday. Are you sure it couldn't have been written the day before? That would have been the day I first arrived, which might make sense, but I didn't really start asking questions until yesterday. I have a hard time thinking whoever it was got onto me so soon after I came to town. Besides, if it had been written at night, they'd have had to sneak in to use the typewriter, right? That's true. In that case, I'll have to check with the guard to see if anyone came in while we were closed yesterday. Thanks, I appreciate your help. 1 minute later. Apparently one of the contractors from Silver Construction came in yesterday morning to fix one of the lights. Interesting. Okay, thanks, I appreciate it. I arrived outside the hardware store. I better head inside. I walked into the hardware store. Can't believe all the different tools they have on display. Tell them in the States, I bet people's lawns and gardens are bigger here than in Japan, too. This knife is really oddly shaped. I wonder what it's used for. Can I talk to you for a second? Welcome, how can I help you? Do you sell the same paint that you see here? Ah, you mean this red paint? It's a little muddy, it almost looks brown. We don't have many flat oil paints, so I should be able to find it for you. We'll be right back, sir. Thanks, I appreciate it. 5 minutes later. Sorry about the wait. I thought we'd have it in stock, but the color's a little brighter than the sample you brought with you. Here it is. The paint resemble the color of my sample once it's dry. I'm afraid not. These paints appear brighter after they dry. Perhaps the paint was mixed with another color. Let's see. If someone made this color, I guess the paints you have here won't. I'm terribly sorry. That right there is no paint. That's a primer we use for metals during construction work. Helps prevent rusting. By the way, how did you know this was primer? Because we bought this same primer for our firm just the other day.
You can tell just by looking at the color? Yeah, the color is the same, but the organic solvent in this primer's got a unique smell. There's no doubt about it. Interesting. Thanks. Name's Travis. Nice to meet you. I'm Saburo Jinguji. Nice to meet you as well. So that paint was actually a primer? The same primer Travis's construction company just bought? Got the information I needed. Time to move on. Later, dude. Do I just go home? I have no idea. Alright, at the motel. I'm not feeling particularly sleepy right now. I'd better stay out and about. Okay, it's not home. The only thing I can think of is to make sure to the bar. Oh boy. There's nothing for me to do here now. I better get going. Bar it is then. Not the bar, then I'm lost. I have absolutely no idea where to go. Said. Look over at the entrance to the bar. I can hear the raucous sound of laughter come from inside. Seems like not everyone in this town is constantly filled with tension. But I don't have any business at the bar right now. Damn it. So where the heck am I supposed to go? The latest police station and the library again. Kinda wanna go to either. Right in front of the Silver Snow Police Department. So it's you. The chief said he wanted to see you. Told me to bring you in. Follow me. I'll take you to his office. Let's take you to the police chief's office. I figured just show up. How'd you not be back? How'd you not be back? You're Jinguji's grandson. I knew you wouldn't back off so easily. You're exactly right. So if you're willing, why don't you tell me what you know about DAEDALUS? Really don't mince words. When it comes to DAEDALUS, we're not working with much. That's fine, tell me. 20 years ago, there was a series of murders where the crime scenes were drenched in the victim's blood. We ended up referring to these murder sites as dead or blood loss crime scenes. Dead or blood loss, say it enough and it sounds an awful lot like DAEDALUS. And that's how we began to refer to the suspect himself, DAEDALUS. And the criminal's MO? Their weapon of choice was a large blade, likely a dagger, 2 knives at the same time. The victims had every artery in their body slashed, starting with the carotid artery. Some were killed instantly, but most died from exsanguination and blood loss. 2 large knives? You're saying these knives were used in every serial murder to date? Elgard used knives, but his methods were completely different. He stabbed victims through the heart, killing most of them instantly, far less bleeding than the Daedalus murders. Daedalus killed 21 members of the Mafia. After Daedalus disappeared, 12 Yakuza were murdered. These 12 were determined to be victims of Elgard. You must have learned something from Elgard. What did it tell you? I'll admit I'm responsible for those dead Yakuza, the murders that took place after Daedalus disappeared. Then he added, but once it's time, I'll leave prison of my own accord. That's all he had to say. It's almost like he thinks he can come and go as he pleases. Elgard's still safe in prison. Still, even after his arrest, we've continued to see knife attack victims. Folks are starting to believe that Daedalus has returned. Daedalus is back? Any other clues I can work with? The investigation files are right here. Take them with you. Alright, let's take a look at the files he gave me. You talking about these ones? My 22nd back alley of St. Street, victim suffered fatal injuries from 4 to 6 inch knife wound and damage to their cranium. Several cuts were found on the body, including deep slash wounds to the abdomen. Cause of death was skull fracture. The body was discovered in the cellar of a house under construction. The victim was a salesman from the electric company. May 2nd back alley of Billy Street. Victim received slash wound to the neck with 4 to 6 inch knife, death by exsanguination. Several incisions on the neck area. One slash was across the carotid artery, leading to death by exsanguination. The body was discovered in the boiler room of a motel, although it's possible that the victim moved there after being attacked. The victim was a night worker at the motel. March 15th, back alley of Ann Street. Victim received fatal wound to abdomen with 46 inch knife. The victim received several deep, sharp slashes to the abdominal area. The victim, a power line specialist, was discovered in an underground passage of the electric company. Coroner's report. The 3 murders were probably committed with the same blade, but the knife is the cause of death in only 2 of the cases. Judging from the depth and shape of the knife wounds, the blade wasn't long. I'm assuming it's some type of utility knife. Interesting, I think I'll do some research about this knife. That's the killer with work electricity. To be honest, I'm not really sure what makes me feel like you should have those files. But you're going to put them to good use, aren't you? I am. You can count on it. Which is exactly what I'm doing. Later. Alright, hardware store again, I'm guessing. The hardware store. Travis again? Is that the worker guy? I forgot. Arrived outside the bar. Hello. I walked inside. I entered the bar. Hey, Sabro, come here, sit down. Just from one taco to better, buddy. Behind the counter, the bar is well stocked with all kinds of alcohol. Of course, I'm still too young to drink, counter of the bar is polished to a bright shine. The bartender here must take good care of it. Travis. Hey, join me for a drink. Thanks, but I'm afraid I'm underage. Now there's a good kid. Don't see too many of those these days, huh? Would you mind if I asked you some questions? Sure, but relax. No need to be so formal. Oh, George isn't with you today? Nah, said he had something to take care of, so he went home early. Oh, that's too bad. I was hoping to talk with him too. More murder stuff? You're gonna ruin my drink with all that talk. How about we find something else to talk about while we're here in the bar? Okay, sorry I brought it up. Anyway, it's a safe bet you'll find George here just about any day. He'll probably be in tomorrow. Got it, thanks. So, what do you plan on asking him? Just a few questions about knives. Knives? What kind of knives are we talking about here? I mean, I work with box cutters every day. I could probably tell you a few things about knives. Looking for a knife that has a sharp blade or maybe one that can be shortened. Well, you can adjust the blade on a box cutter. Or you might try an electrician's knife like the ones we use. The blades on those are pretty short. Would you be able to show me one? Sorry, I don't have one on me. I mean, even if the blades are pretty short, it's still not the kind of thing you want to be walking around with. Keep mine in the toolbox at the office. It's a shame. Thanks. This is still helpful. The library yesterday morning? Did you do any work at the library yesterday morning? Oh, that? Well, I was all scheduled to go and fix one of the lights there. But then a request came in to repair some wiring at the church, so I wound up working there all morning instead. So you had to wait until the afternoon to repair the light at the library? Nah, I never went to the library at all. It was a simple fix, just changing the bulb, so I let George take care of it. So where did you go after you finished with the wiring at the church? Oh, I had some inspections to do in the afternoon. I went around to a few different houses checking circuit breakers. It's good to know. Do you have any idea where George may have been around that time? I'm pretty sure he was scheduled for inspections too, so he probably had his own list of houses to visit. But you can't say for sure? Right, when we were out doing calls like that, we don't go back to the office. We just go straight home whenever we're done. I couldn't tell you what he might have done after that. Thanks. Do you have any idea who in town might know a lot about what happened here 20 years ago? Well, Father Bannister might know something. Father Bannister? Who's that? He probably knows more about this town than anyone. From what I hear, he was born and raised here and dedicated himself to serving the Lord when he was about 30. You know what he did before he became a priest? He says he was drafted to fight in the war. It was probably what he saw on the battlefield that made him want to be a man of the cloth. Don't you think? Yeah, that makes sense. Thanks. I'll be sure to ask him about it. Oh, and one more thing. Father Bannister's real busy. He's always out in the afternoon. So if you plan on meeting him, you better try sometime in the morning. Okay, thanks for the advice. How can I get to the church? Well, there aren't so many tall buildings in this town. You can probably see the church from just about anywhere. That'll make it easy to find. Thanks. Well, I learned an awful lot from Travis, but I think maybe it's time I got moving again. Alright, later, Travis. There we go. Church. Alright, in front of the church. Alright, it's time to go hear what Father Bannister has to say. That's at the church. to the church. When I did, what I thought might be a priest approached from the back of the building. DAEDALUS door. Pipe organ? I looked over at the keys of the pipe organ. I wonder what it would sound like if I tried playing it. I can't help but be curious. It's gonna sound awful. Stained glass. I looked up at the stained glass windows of the church. Now that I get a better look at them, they really make for quite a sight. I feel like I've seen this priest somewhere before. Alright, he's the one who talked with me out on Main Street. Welcome to Silver Snow Church. I believe we met once before. Are you traveling? No, I have some business in town. I'm looking into some murders that happened here in Silver Snow 20 years ago. Oh, that. It was all so terrible. Some kind of mafia dispute gone wrong? It was the kind of business most regular people don't want anything to do with. I imagine most people aren't very forthcoming about it, yes? Yeah, you could say that. So, how may I help you? You know the incident 20 years ago? Speaking of, I heard that you lived in this town for a long time. I was wondering if you could tell me what really happened with those murders 20 years ago, seeing as I'm already out here. Yes, you could say I've lived here a long time. I was born and raised here. However, I enlisted when I was a young man and spent several years away. I'd be happy to tell you whatever I can. You know a man named Albert? Yes, I know of him. He was involved in that awful tragedy 20 years ago. Really, how could I forget? They say he was responsible for the deaths of a number of people in the mafia. They say, what do you mean? Well, I heard that he later testified that when he was arrested, he said he'd go quietly this time, and also that his charges included several cases that he wasn't responsible for. He was prosecuted, found guilty, and is now serving a sentence for all of them. That's what I meant. If that's the case, then it's possible that Elgard wasn't the only one responsible for the serial murders here 20 years ago. Did Travis come yesterday? I heard Travis came to fix the wiring here at the church yesterday morning. Is that true? Yes, it is. I asked him to. The church speaker stopped working during morning service. The front lights also stopped working, so I had to find a contractor. It was very sudden, but Travis came right out. Did he leave right after he fixed the wiring? No, after he fixed the wiring, I made us some tea. We sat and talked until around noon. So that means Travis was here at the church for the entire morning? Yes, that's right. So then the worker who went into the library yesterday while I was closed kidnapping Travis. It's George. It's Rick and George. Who does George do this? He never went. Tell me what the word Daedalus means. Like from the Greek myths? No, what I'd like to know is how it's connected to the murders that happened here 20 years ago. If there was a connection, I'm afraid I don't know it. You've never even heard of it? That's right. I don't recall ever hearing of it. Interesting. Interesting. Alright. Talk to you later. I feel like I need to go to the hardware store again, but I'm not sure. Let's go to the hardware store first, and if he's not there, then go to the bar again. If he's still not there, then I'll see what else I can do. Arrived outside the hardware store. Better head inside. I walked into the hardware store. This knife is really oddly shaped. I wonder what it's used for. Dang, I was really open. So what am I looking for? I don't know what I'm looking for. Travis never went to the library. Excuse me. Welcome, how can I help you? Do you sell electrician's knives here? Yes, we do. We've got several different sizes for every occasion. I'll bring them over. Just one moment, sir. Alright, thanks. 2 minutes later. These are the 4 types of electrician's knives we sell here. I see, the blades are pretty short, and they can't be extended, huh? These knives are mostly used for cutting vinyl cords. They don't need to be any longer. Because they're so short, the blades don't chip, bend, or break under pressure. How much demand do you have for knives like these? They're designed for professionals, so they're not very popular with anyone else. I think our only buyers are the contractors. Contractors? You mean like Travis and George? Oh, you know each other. Mr. Travis uses this medium-sized knife. Mr. George uses our largest knife. Aha, I see. I like your biggest electrician's knife. Thank you very much. And I see that coming. So I go home. Arrived at the motel. Not feeling particularly sleepy right now. Better stay out and about. Dang it. I can never tell where to go, man. There's no clear indication of where I should go. Let's go back to the bar. Alright, outside the bar. I could hear the sound of raucous voices coming from inside. Headed in. Oh, George. He sure is. That's at the bar. It's like George is here alone today. It's the perfect opportunity for me to see about the knife. Huh? It's you. You're George, right? We met the other day? And you got something to say to me? Do you enjoy working at Silver Builders? Oh, it's got its upsides, meaning it has its downsides as well. I mean, it's work. It's what I do to put food on the table. Of course, it's got its downsides, like getting yelled at and pushed around by the boss. I was here with Travis earlier. He mentioned that he found your work very professional. Really? Travis said that. I had no idea. I'll have to take him under my wing more. He said you were especially good with your electrician's knife. Well, he knows what he's talking about. I had no idea he noticed. So is there anything all that special about an electrician's knife? You better believe it. You can't even handle one of those things unless you're a pro. Wow, that sounds pretty cool. How'd you like to come work for us then? I might think about it if I got to see your knife work. Well, aren't you a charmer? Listen, George, would you mind showing me your electrician's knife? What? No way, that could be dangerous. Oh, come on, please. What? No way, give me a break. Alright, if you say so. Don't know much of anything from that. Didn't answer. Can I ask you some questions about electrician's knives? Electrician's knives? Just what are you planning to do? I was thinking of buying one. Buying one? Nobody uses them except electricians. Well, I've been thinking about doing some remodeling, you see. I don't know, it wouldn't be much use for anything else. Not for most people anyway. Oh, nothing, just talking to myself. Anyway, I don't see much good in you buying one. Could you teach me how to use one? Look, how about you don't bring up my work while I'm here at the bar? Can't you teach me just one thing? What? No way, give me a break. Alright, if you say so. I didn't learn much of anything from that. Okay, last question. I was drinking here with Travis yesterday. Oh, you were, huh? And tonight you thought you'd drink with me, is that right? That's right. You were pretty drunk the other day, so we didn't get much of a chance to talk. Yeah, now that you mention it, we didn't. I guess I could drink with you tonight. Great, thanks. This might be kind of a dumb question, but look like you're in a good mood. Celebrate as well as discuss upsides, downsides, front table, Travis, was talking about that's special about gotta believe it, you can't even handle one of those things unless you're a pro. Cool. How'd you like to come up with that? Think about it. You're a charmer. You really want to see it that badly? Thank you. Oh, you finally slipped it? Jesus. Here it is. Feast your eyes on this. What do you think? It's bigger than I was expecting. Yeah, I was using a smaller one before. This larger blade is real handy though, I just love using it. This is what you use when you're cutting through cords? Not just cords, that larger blade makes it perfect for all sorts of things. Okay, so that'll be one and done. Ship like a leatherworks chisel, sourcing things outside of work. All sorts of things, huh? Does that include things outside of work? What a weird thing to ask. What's wrong with you? Obviously, I'd only ever use this for work. Oh, really? I didn't mean anything by that. Would you mind letting me borrow it? What? No way. That could be dangerous. Oh, come on, please. What? No way. Give me a break. Alright, if you say so. You haven't learned much of anything from that. You keep choosing the wrong dialogue. The shape reminds me of a leatherworker's chisel. I can see that. I mean, I'm sure I could cut through the leather with this like it was nothing. It's that sharp, huh? I bet it'd be real easy to slice off a finger. You know it, this thing could cut off your finger or slice through your skin like it wasn't even there. You handle that thing so well, I can tell you're a real pro. Hey, yeah, I could cut through anything with this. Just be careful you don't cut through me by mistake. Although with a blade like that short, you couldn't cause any serious injuries, could you? I don't know about that. Not with me wielding this thing. I can cut through a human body like it was nothing. Could it really be that easy? Oh yeah, you'd be surprised. It's real easy, at least when I'm the one holding the knife. Wouldn't the blade chip or break if you used it for something besides electrical work? Not a problem, this thing's really strong. George is outing himself. murder weapon, large electrical knife. See, thanks. Maybe I'll head out and pick one up tomorrow. Really? You thinking of buying one too? You should. You really get me. Do you think I could hold it for a little while? I mean, I wouldn't want to get hurt, so I'll leave it in the sheath. You know what? I'm in a real good mood right now, so go ahead. Here, take as long as a look as you like. Yes, that's my chance. I waited until George was looking away, then switched the knife in the sheath with the one I had prepared. Now I grabbed George's knife and managed to get a hold of Travis's knife. I think now it's time to get back to the motel. How'd you get Travis's knife? Finally, go home, I guess. Return to the motel. Better get to my room. When I got back to my motel, I found out Chief Marks had called trying to reach me. I guess I'd better try the number they gave me. Call Chief Marcus. What is it? Oh, it's you. Sorry for the short notice. But there's one last thing about the case I think it's important you know. It's something I prefer to say in person though, so can you come down to the police station tomorrow? Absolutely, I'll be there first thing in the morning. Sorry for the trouble. I'll see you tomorrow. One last thing about the case, huh? It's too important to discuss over the phone. You better head straight to the station tomorrow. If you're alive, brother. I felt like no sooner had I hung up the phone than I was asleep. Did you lock your door? The next morning. What's that noise? Somebody knocking on the door? Hey, Sabro, Sabro's me. You gotta wake up right now, Sabro. Why? Travis, what are you doing here? Hold on, open the door. How like do you know I was here? I don't trust us. I don't trust this one bit. It sounds pretty rattled. What could have happened? Could I not look at the people? Open the door to the room. You good, buddy? Travis was standing there looking visibly pale. From time to time, I could even make out his arms and legs shaking. Something's wrong. Whatever got Travis spooked, it's got him good. Travis? What's wrong? Hey, what happened? What's wrong? It's the chief. They got him. They got Chief Marcus. What? He's been taken to the police station. They're giving him first aid there, but he's hurt real bad. I was supposed to meet with him today. How could this happen? I don't know. Apparently he got called out late last night. Nobody knows where he went. Then early this morning they found him collapsed outside the police station. George is furious. He kept screaming about how this is all your fault. Said the Japanese guy poking his nose, and so all this brought on the wrath of DAEDALUS. Well, I've got a pretty good idea who's behind all this now. Why don't we head to the police station for the time being? This could be just the opportunity I was hoping for. I intend to break the curse that's hanging over this town, over all the people of Silver Snow. Alright then, I'm going with you. Good. I feel a lot better having you with me. I'm sure you'll be a big help. Okay. To the police station. Why can't I go to the bar? Right in front of the Silver Snow Police Department. And now once I've looked in the negligence compound. It's not like I have anything to feel guilty about, but still, seeing the entrance to a police station, I can't help but feel a reluctance to go inside. Oh, it's you. You need to get to the chief's office now. I was taken to the police chief's office. I mean, you look fine to me, dude. Marcus, how are you holding up? There was Marcus waiting for me in his office after receiving first aid. It must have been painful just to stand there. His face was drenched in sweat. Sorry, I guess they got the jump on me. Please, I'm begging you, save this town and its people from the curse. I know it's crazy of me to ask you, but... Hey, you're right. You don't have to keep talking. Sorry. I don't mind. I have an idea who the culprit is. Use this room however you want. The rest is in your hands. With those final words, Marcus was carried off to the hospital. Pretty sure I know who's behind this. I should have Travis get everyone together. Travis, could you call everyone I'm about to list and tell them to come over here? Alright, I'm on it. It's a little weird. Sabro, here are all the people you asked for. Thank you, Travis. Phase was Daedalus behind the serial killings? Well, who's Daedalus? The reason I've asked everyone to join us here is just as you'd expect. To put the incident from 20 years ago to rest, to release the people of Silver Snow from their curse, and to reveal the truth. Well then, what is this truth that you speak of? Right after I got here, I started investigating the serial murders from 20 years ago. I now know who committed the 3 recent murders. What the hell are you talking about? Everyone knows it was Daedalus. No, Daedalus was not involved in these 3 cases. And I have the evidence to prove it. What? But Sabro, who else could the criminal be? The first night I came to this town, an envelope that appeared to be from the criminal was tossed into my room. Inside was a threatening letter. To summarize, it crudely warned me not to get involved with the incident from 20 years ago or else.
And then, they may have feared being identified. I can't determine any other motive, but the letter was written on a typewriter. Could it have been the old-fashioned one at the library? Yes, Mary, exactly. The library here is one of the few in the US that still carries a typewriter. You can tell from the style of the letter that it was written on a rare model. And upon comparison, I realized it was the very typewriter found at the library. Both the ink and the paper used match what's available at the library. You can't get these materials on the open market. The library has to special order them from the manufacturers. There's no doubt that it was written on the library typewriter. Thank you, Mary. So, why would the criminal send me a threatening letter? The only logical explanation would be because I was poking my nose into the incident from 20 years ago. Furthermore, the criminal was able to both compose the letter and pass it to me on the night I arrived. However, the library was closed that day. So who could have entered the library? The weapon was a knife like George's, Travis's, and everyone's at the library. The culprit works with the electronics. The contractor wrote the wall message. The contractor entered the library. In other words, whoever wrote it is someone who had access to the library even when it was closed. I checked with the guards, and they reported a contractor entering that day on official business. The contractor and the maintenance schedule are written in the library's admission record for that day. However, what is odd is that the contractor didn't provide their name. Thank you for that additional information, Mary. Thus, the person able to compose the letter at the library when it was closed is also likely to be a town contractor. Hey, wait, hold up, Sabro, you suspecting one of us now? What? Travis, what is... Was it you? Hell no, it wasn't me. Travis, let me finish. There is someone who can confirm your alibi, and that person is... that priest. Travis never went to the library. Contractor wrote the wall. Murder weapon was a knife like George. Travis never went to the library. The logged hours in the day's admission records show that the contractor started and ended work in the morning. Father Bannister, I'd like to ask you a question. Where was Travis that morning? As I recall, Travis came to repair their wiring at the church. After he finished his work, he joined me for tea for the remainder of the morning. Thank you, Father Bannister. As the father The father just testified Travis was not at the library that morning. In other words, the person who entered the library when it was closed was not Travis, but another contractor. Don't do that to me, Sabro. I didn't even do anything, and you had my heart going a mile a minute. The night after I received the letter, another threatening message was spread across one side of my room in what seemed to be brownish red house paint. It said, "The winged must fall." After investigating that paint, I gained some insight, that being... the contractor wrote the wrong message. I determined that it was not typical house paint, but a resident primer. Oh, that! I saw samples of it back at the hardware store. That's what it was. That's right, Travis. And didn't you say back then that your construction company recently purchased primer paint? Yeah. So in other words, you're still treating me and Travis like criminals. We won't get anywhere at this rate. What I'm saying is that the person who sent me these threats could potentially be a contractor. Next is this investigation file from Chief Marcus. Here's the first report. The body was found lying in the underground passage of a power company. It was one of the company's linemen. Then there's the second report. The body was found in a motel boiler room. It's possible that the victim moved after being fatally wounded. The victim was a boiler technician working in the night shift at the motel. And here's the third report. A body was found in the cellar of an unfinished home. The victim was an employee in the sales division of the electric company. Oh dear, truly tragic. And how might they be connected with this current situation? I guess the connection still isn't clear. Well then, allow me to clarify their connection to the recent crime scene step by step. The answer is... I'm not even paying attention. They were talking about the murder, right? So... We're talking about the murder? I forgot. Sales Division Electric Company. Boiler technician working the night shift. And power company. Power line, switchboard and breaker next to the boiler room. A salesman from the electric company. Now, do you understand? They're all related to electricity. Exactly. The victims all happened to be found in places involving electricity and were all employed in electrical occupations. Now, onto the crime itself. There's a very good chance that the murderer works with electricity as well. A good chance, you say? Sure this isn't some wild delusion of yours? At this point, that certainly might seem to be the case. To continue, I shall refer to the murder weapon believed to be used in these three cases. The intent is to land a fatal wound. A reliable weapon is preferable. Actually, the victims of the mafia disputes 20 years ago were killed with a blade at least 12 inches in length. This is true for both the DAEDALUS and Elgar cases. However, these three recent murders were the work of a sharp, short blade. The criminal used a blade too short to cause immediately lethal stab wounds and carved into the victims until they died. Furthermore, the wounds show that the cause of death was not blood loss but cerebral contusion due to skull fracture. The murder weapon was a blade of about 4 inches that would not chip even when used on a person. This is a strong blade. I have determined... the weapon was a knife like George's. The murder weapon was an electrician's knife. Thanks to a hardware store employee, I was able to compare the victim's wounds to these an electrician's knife might inflict. Of course, it was a near-perfect match. Hey, isn't that the same kind George uses? Not exactly, Travis. What do you mean? It is not the same kind, but the very same one. The weapon used to commit the murders was George's electrician's knife. I've already asked the police to analyze the blood on the knife. We should soon have proof that it was used in the murders. Right, George? That's a dirty lie. I've had my knife with me the whole time. Can't prove anything. Oh, that's right. I have to apologize, George. I switched your knife out with the new one that I bought. What the hell? What makes you think that knife is the weapon? The victim's wounds were a bit odd. Once the hardware store employee told me about the large electrician's knife, I knew that it was a match with the wounds.
So that doesn't prove a damn thing. I said the police were analyzing it, didn't I? When those results come in, everything will be made clear. You bastard! Damn you! You took my knife and damn you to hell! Sorry about that. Weren't you the one who told me how easy it is to chop up people? Chopping up people? You don't know shit, amateur. That method is my own special technique. Couldn't your colleague Travis do it? How the hell should I know? Whatever. Fine, I did it. It was me. Truth of incident. George was the killer. A curse broken. Saw the mystery of chapter 3 with no mistakes. George's expression was shockingly calm. Working at that boring job day after day was torture. You're all too young to understand. Every time I was forced to go back, it felt like a part of what made me who I am died. My parents and older brothers were constantly screaming at me, hitting me, kicking me, as if they disapproved of my very existence. They told me I was a good-for-nothing piece of shit, that I'd never amount to anything. And then I had a dream. Even a boring, worthless man like me can still dream. And what was in your dream? From some dark place, entities that shine in all the colors of the rainbow descend to Earth. They are neither the beginning nor the end. They make everything one and one everything. A limitless empty void that fills this land. When the time comes, my life will finally take on its true radiance and shine like a rainbow. Time and space are meaningless wherever they are. But when you think about it, isn't that how it should be? Everyone is equal after all. We'll all be swallowed up by my equality, by those that are the final void. In my dream, anyone who rejected their right to live in this world. And then, a veiled man appeared before me and said this: the complete and eternal plane of existence, the limitless domain that surpasses all laws of creation. He who are connected to its true essence are the guides to the final gate. That passage, I've read it before. It's from one of the library's rare books, a manuscript of the Necronomicon? What? It's a book of magic that details the method for bringing over those from the other side. It's supposed to be a forbidden text. Don't interrupt me. Sorry. Even when I told people about my dream, no one cared. Well, it's not like I ever expected them to believe me. From then on, I went to university libraries and used bookshops and read all sorts of books. I'd always hated reading, so even I was surprised by this change in myself. Were the words from my dream rooted in Arabic, Latin? I studied them all. I continued on, and it soon became clear to me. I discovered a way to bring those beings into this world. I began making preparations to summon them. So you chose the townspeople for your sacrifices. That's right. It was necessary in order to complete the ceremony. I'd search around town for a target and shadow them. It didn't matter who. Once I caught them alone, I hit them over the head from behind to knock them out. After that, I'd haul them to the ceremony site. After binding their hands and feet, I slowly and precisely cut them with the knife. It was kind of like collecting maple syrup. After I got the blood I needed, they'd eventually start to wake up. When they realized what happened to them, they let out a terrified scream. Each scream was so different, but they switched to crying and wailing when I told them they were going to be an offering. Didn't really mind though. They shook as if they were freezing. Maybe it was from the blood loss. In the end, everyone whimpered and sobbed, begging me to spare their life. Help me! They cried. I couldn't believe how stupid they were. Help them? Why would I do that? Slowly but surely I grew closer to accomplishing my task. I didn't really care if I was found out or not. The only thing that mattered was that no one interrupted my ceremony.
And then it hit me. These village idiots were scared stiff by Daedalus, so I took the name for myself. You used the victim's blood to return yourself into Daedalus? But weren't you scared of him too? By taking on the name, didn't you think it might put you in danger? Didn't cross my mind for a second. You fucking moron. Whatever happened, the ceremony was already in progress. Daedalus was just an afterthought. And guess what? He wasn't even in town. What? Didn't see that coming, did ya? A long time ago, I broke into a house to steal tools for the ceremony. It was the Yakuza boss's house. I imagined my surprise when I met the rumored Daedalus in the flesh. They're the ones who helped Daedalus get out of town. Why did they let Daedalus escape? How the hell should I know? George, why did you attack Marcus? I don't have to explain anything to you, but I'll tell you now that it wasn't me. You were the only one left. The ceremony will soon be complete and no one's going to stop me. 20 years, you got that? 20 years I had to get it to achieving my goal. And I just needed one more. But you had to come and stick your nose in my business. You were a pain in my ass. But in the midst of all that, I thought of something wonderful. That's why I especially sent a letter to threaten you. Come on, wasn't it fun? It's not every day you get to be threatened by the great Daedalus himself. Severo, was it? You were going to be my final sacrifice. It would have been magnificent. The ceremony was almost complete. I was so close. True, I'm still alive, so it looks like you failed. You're the worthless pieces of shit, all of you! You involved the innocent people of this town in your madness. You took the name of Daedalus and terrorized people. You're nothing but a bloodthirsty killer. George let out a bizarre scream, one filled with bitterness and hatred. You bastard! It's all your fault! Police standing by finally arrested George. Unable to help myself, I asked him, George, do you know where Daedalus is? No goddamn clue! But I doubt you'll have any luck now. Daedalus said all those memories are gonna go bye-bye. He's going to erase his memories? What do you mean? Who knows? Maybe it's not literal. It's not the most impossible thing I've ever heard of, at least. Sins aren't erased so easily, but hey, whatever. All because of you people, these last 20 years have amounted to nothing. But I know I'll see my dream fulfilled yet. This isn't over. Not even death can stop me. Once started, it can't be stopped. The police took George away. Daedalus acted as the mob boss's Sajima's right-hand man before leaving this town 20 years ago. And if what George says is true, did he erase his own memory and hide away somewhere? Was he trying to escape the weight of his own sins? Or was there some other reason? Is it even possible to simply erase your own memories whenever you want? It's probably true that Daedalus is no longer in Silver Snow. There's no longer any reason for the people to live in fear. Yet that means my investigation into Grandpa's murder has once again hit a wall. Will I even be able to find Daedalus? I couldn't help but hope that chasing Daedalus would lead me closer to the truth behind Grandpa's death. A few hours later, I received a message that Marcus would pull through, but he had yet to regain consciousness. I could do nothing but hope for a swift recovery. That afternoon, Leo came to pick me up. 悪いな、レオ。わざわざ迎えに来てくれて。
Sorry for making you come all this way, Leo.
全然構わないさ。
No problem, it's totally fine. That aside, Sabro, it seems like you've had a rough time. I wouldn't say that. Besides, the curse that's plagued this town for years has finally been lifted. That's true. It was their chief of police, yeah? I hope he recovers soon. How do you know that? How do you know that? I hope he recovers soon too. Anyway, yeah, fingers crossed he makes a quick recovery. George completely denied attacking Marcus. I don't think he was lying, but I don't know why. Marcus may be getting up there in years, but he's still a policeman. There's no way he'd let some thug get the better of him. So who attacked him? Travis, Mary, and Father Bannister came by just after we finished loading up the car. Thank goodness, we made it in time. That's cold, Sabro. You could have at least told us when you were leaving. You all came to see me off. Thank you for everything. This wouldn't have been possible without all of you. I'm aware that you had a lot of criticism for me, but I'll become someone who can speak her mind. Was I that rough on you? I don't remember. Yes, very much so. She's got you there. You didn't let up for a second, Sabro. Yes, I agree. You were merciless. Really? I would have liked to see that side of you. Enough already. I'm sorry, okay? Give me a break. Please come again. Thank you, Mary. Thanks to you, our town has the chance to start over again. We'll finally be able to move forward together with our heads held high. Please take care of Marcus. Of course, leave the chief to me. I'm rather embarrassed. I've lived in this town for many years, yet I knew nothing and was powerless to help. But Father, you made your voice heard in the chief's office, didn't you? Testify for us? Thank you for your kind words. I'm very grateful. Acts 18:21. But on taking leave of them, he said, I will return to you if God wills. And I look forward to the day you return. Thanks again, everyone. See you around. The Cursed Town. And thus I left the town of Silver Snow behind me and headed straight back to New York. Chapter 3, The Cursed Town. And